place a bridge.
Ready? Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, show some respect. No, I was kidding.
Nice.
Crisp. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Talavera's and Tequila's episode 24, where we have another special guest with us today.
24?
Yeah, it's 24.
Oh, shit.
It's our good friend Gabby.
Hi.
That we haven't seen in 20,
We don't know.
20 years.
Probably literally over a decade.
Yeah, I think it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's like we know you and stuff.
been
Or
like-
yeah, we know you. Well, we've been around you for
It's
quite
been
a while.
15 years, I think.
Yeah. But then you were just gone, and then
I've been out on adventures, odysseys.
Literally.
yeah. And of course, before we get into our conversations and everything, if you guys haven't already, be sure to follow all three of us, follow our page, subscribe, like this video, drop a comment whenever you feel like it's necessary. Share this with somebody because we're trying to grow. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers. And we're growing ever so slightly, but whatever. We're going to still keep doing this because we just like to do this. It's fun. And if you want to support this channel, go to buymeacoffee.com/Talavera Studios. And followed with that, thank you to the ones that are members right now and who have donated, which again is currently still...
I'm just kidding.
Oh, we gotta give them a little shout out. It's our good friend Sue, T, Aaron, and there's a fourth one.
Is there?
No, it's just those three. Those three are members right now. Yeah, those are the only ones that are members.
Oh. Wow.
I know, it's just
You
three.
remember
Whatever.
them all? Good job.
Of course. Like, I care about them, all right? Because once you guys become a member or something like that, I'll talk about you all the time.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
Just on the... Just...
Once we hit 10, I'll be like, here's the names on the screen or whatever. Something like that.
No, I like even now, like anybody who's like my fan and shares my work, like I know their handles, like their Instagram handle, like I could tell you
memorize
those
them?
people, like I know them. Yeah, like I know those people. It does not go unnoticed, the support.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's true.
I was just saying because he has a bad memory.
Yeah, you know what, Sally? I do have a bad memory, but I don't know. I have no argument about that. I'm sorry.
I had an argument, I forgot.
Yeah, I had an argument, but I forgot.
Wow.
But our friend Gabby over here, she's...
Introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself, yeah.
Go.
All right. If you know me from Lordsburg or New Mexico, I'm Gabby Montoya. I have been out and I've gone through many iterations, but my other stage names include Juju Fontaine, Taco Sauce, and currently Gat Mooney, which I'm also thinking of changing because I kind of hate that stage name, but that's my current, is at Gat Mooney if you follow me anywhere. But yeah, the homies know me as Gabby.
So, like...
What about Pookie?
What do you do?
I didn't know you knew that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was Pookie up till maybe like middle school. Yeah, I was Pookie for a long. I didn't know that you knew that because I thought that stopped when I was really little. But yeah, Pookie.
Why Pookie?
That was just my nickname when I was a kid. Like up until I thought I was cool and I told people to stop calling me that. Yeah, Pookie.
Stop calling me Pookie.
Call me Pookie. Now I'm like, cute. I'm like
you
it's
realize
endearing.
your sister is like his cousin's.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
wife.
you guys are like family now, so I'm sure she tells you shit. But
Not really, but I'm like, but you do realize that, right?
yeah, no, she told me that earlier, and I was like, why are you always hanging out with them? She's like, we're like family now. I was like,
You're like,
you are. That's
yeah,
accurate. That's wild.
funny.
More Lordsburg connections. I love it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, but like, what do you do?
What do I do? Well,
What don't you do?
yeah, that's a good question. So right now I'm on like a couple week cross country trip. Technically cross country, right? The border of Canada to like this border. I count that as cross country.
That is...
Yeah.
I mean, you're
Like,
crossing
what
the
would
country.
you call that, right?
You're
Like, it's
crossing the country.
not
You're
left
like-
to right, but it's top to bottom.
Top to bottom, yeah.
South,
Yeah.
North, south.
Like, there's many ways you can cross this country.
Yeah. So I
'Cause, like,
Vertically?
we're not a little island. We're There's Florida or something.
So I would say
Here's
like
Florida.
Canada to Mexico. That's across country. So yeah, I'm on like a couple week road trip from Seattle to Las Cruces to go see the rest of my family. And just it's I called it my eat, skate, shred trip because I've been stopping. First of all, eating In-N-Out everywhere I could because I fucking missed In-N-Out. I lived in Tucson. I lived in Tucson and had just constant access to In-N-Out. So like the whole way down, I've been eating In-N-Out. Hitting skate parks everywhere that I had like a chance and like found a good one to stop at. And then hitting up friends to jam with. So yeah, I'm a musician. My main thing is like being a musician. And yeah, I just kind of needed to get out of Seattle for a little while, reconnect with some friends. So that's what I'm doing like right now, unemployed, just kind of flowing through the world, hanging out with friends and family.
Going back to your roots.
Going back to my roots, yeah. Trying to come to Lordsburg and see if I can just like be zen, chill for a little while. Just needed a little break from city shit, but yeah,
and that's
cool.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And it's because like I was going through her Instagram profile recently because I know you like do music and record stuff and everything.
Wow,
And
creep.
it's
research.
Honestly, it is. It's like
Episode.
I see it every now and then, but it's like not like heavily. But I'm like what? I was just curious. I'm like, what have you been doing lately? You know, because like I said, I've for over the years, like I've seen you do stuff and do music and everything of the sort, but never really like totally like dived into it or anything like that. And then I saw you like constantly like shredding on the guitar up on stage and everything. I'm like, oh shit, like that's cool, you know?
Oh, she does things.
I mean, I just do it, obviously, but yeah. And then like recently, like you did a cover of the
La Llorona.
Yes.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. First, so I'm big on like Halloween season, and before I lived in Tucson before I moved to Seattle in 2021. And so before that I lived in Tucson for maybe like 7 years, and I had a band, Taco Sauce. It was like an all girl, like I don't know what you would even call, like surf punk kind of band. Okay. And so we were big on like doing Halloween shows like the whole month. We would try to like, in every show we would just dress up in like a different theme and like do a bunch of like
That's fucking cool.
Whatever like horror punk or just horror themed like music we could do. We would do like Psycho Killer at every show and like the Cramps and stuff like that. And so I've finally, like, the last couple of years, I've been really trying to, like, play out more in Seattle, but I'm solo now. I don't have my band. So I was like, all right, I want to focus this year on, like, my spooky season vibes. Like, I want to get some, like, Halloween-ish shows, and, like, at least before I had, like, released just some, like, videos of me doing, like, silly videos of, like, Halloween themed songs. And so this year I was like, I'm gonna actually do like release a single. So I did La Llorona because a friend of mine in Tucson had also covered it for like a performance, and I was like, all right, that would be perfect. And La Llorona, there's like so many versions of it, so many verses. It's super easy to make that your own. Yeah. And so I made a version of that and just like played with like pedals effects, guitar stuff, and just did like something different for each verse. And so like I was surprised because I was like, I didn't know I would like be able to feel ownership over something like that. Like, because I've always like, I haven't always felt super like, I always felt like the least like Mexican of like the Mexican friend group, like I've never felt super like connected to that. And I don't know Spanish also. Like I've sung in Spanish a lot, but I don't know Spanish. So I was like, oh, I don't know if this is like gonna work out. But I actually did feel very connected to it and felt like I had like made something my own.
Totally felt that because like whenever she showed me the song, like, she just played it.
I was like, holy shit, bros, let's check this shit out.
Where were we?
It was right there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was like, we were home, weren't we?
Right there,
we were home. And so she played it, and, what were we doing?
I don't know. I know we were drinking. I think we were making food.
Something. Either way, whatever I was doing, I was like just so zoned out and like listening to it. I'm like feeling it, and I was like, dude, this song's awesome, just doing
Thank
it.
You.
And then, song ends, and then she's like,
I was like, do you know who that was? And
he's like, no. I'm like, no.
I was like, it was Gabby.
I was like, what?
He was like, Gabby.
No way.
I was like, yeah,
I was like, that. I did not expect that at all for you to do something like that. But it was so like good.
Thank you. There's that. Yeah, especially hearing from people like here and like back in Tucson. Like Tucson, people are real connected to the culture too and always doing stuff like that. So I was like, all right, if if that is received well, like in my home places, like that, I'll feel good about that. And it was really received well. And then just like across like my broader like music community. So yeah, I was really happy I did that. It was like a little bit of a risk, but yeah, I guess that's what art is about.
Yeah, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's always taking a
You
risk.
just gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Wise
I guess.
words.
I mean, yeah. And one of the, I mean, whatever. But for like filmmaking kids, there's only like five of them I have in that class. So like it's all introductory stuff for them and everything to do stuff. So I'm kind of just pushing them into like just get into like filmmaking, start doing videos or whatever. And I tell them like don't worry about making mistakes, like just do what you think is best. And then once you like I guarantee you guys you will have a very bad video or very like oh, I should have done this or should have done that. And I'm like, but that's okay because now you know what works and what doesn't work, and you can push yourself to like what you really want, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like in any creativity, like that's the hardest lesson to learn is that you have to mess up a bunch to like figure it out, and you have to actually like to find your own voice. You have to do stuff that feels like, oh, but other people aren't doing this.
To get out of your
but
comfort zone.
this is what always
Yeah.
out of your comfort zone, like trying things that you know like have a high likelihood of failing. Like that's how you get somewhere though. Like it sucks and hurts all
And
the
it's like-
time. but
You're like, I didn't know I could pull that off, honestly.
yeah,
You know, that-
exactly.
You could surprise yourself still.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes it works out. Like the greatest like film, music, whatever art, like whatever the media form art of like our generation. Like it's always, you know, people who took that risk, and like a lot of the time it didn't work out, but finally one time like it worked out. You
And
know?
it just
It's the only way.
takes off. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody makes it big by copying what other people do. You have to like
Right.
mess up.
And it's like, I mean, well, with what you just said right there too, it's like there is a formula out there
Yeah.
that people can follow and
Sure.
do the exact same thing. And of course, it starts getting repetitive, and like, yeah, it'll gain some attention. Like, yeah, might get some explosive,
Like temporary really
yeah.
viral attention.
But then it's
yeah.
like once in a while, or not once in a while, but once you like just people start seeing that you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, it's like
it gets lost in the mix.
right, because it's like you don't stand out from the crowd.
Right, yeah, to stand out over time.
It's like, oh, you already did that. Like, what else do you have? Like, is that it?
Right.
Yeah, boring, lame.
Quickly
And it's like-
forgotten.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes I don't think that like we're doing that.
Well, I want one. I need it.
Because like you know like podcast stuff, it's like it's trendy. Everybody's doing a podcast. If somebody's not doing a
podcast about
podcast,
everything.
somebody knows who's doing a podcast, you know.
Yeah.
And like I don't see us failing at this podcast or anything of the sort, just because like essentially we're doing something different
Yeah.
compared to other podcasts, you know. It's like we're connecting with everybody who's hanging out with us every single week, or when they find out that we're doing a podcast in a month or whatever. We're talking about drinking, hanging out with friends, memories, positive stuff, and it's just I don't know, it's fun. It's like
It's fun.
I like watching ourselves too,
Yeah.
because like even though it's like it's my voice, it's her voice, or it's a guest voice, and I'm still just like intrigued into what we're saying, because I'm like I like our podcast, you know, it's fun, it's exciting, it's different.
You have to like your own art for other people
yeah,
to
that's
like
true.
it. Like I've been getting deep into like Zen shit, which we can go into later, but it's
Yeah.
like like as an artist realizing like you have to like believe so much in yourself, like to the point where it's like it's obnoxious and it feels like you shouldn't like yourself as much as you do, but you kind of
Yeah.
do have to like yourself and like your like what you're doing that much, or nobody else is. Like why should
Yeah.
anybody else? If you're like, well, it sucks, like actually you probably shouldn't like
got
listen to this or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think you guys do have like a cool advantage because like you're in this like small insular community where like everybody knows each other, everybody has stories and like knows each other's like stories and stuff. And I think people really like having kind of like that voyeurism into like other people's like not drama, but just like
Right.
Yeah, like I don't know, not gossip. Like
I mean, but
Like
kind of like your own little
celebrity,
cutesy like small town gossip.
Yeah.
yeah, like the way people watch reality shows and they're like, oh my god, did you see what happened with like whatever kind of vibe?
Yeah.
I guess I don't know.
Yeah. And then of course, like everybody you bring in is gonna like people are gonna watch this because they like know me and follow me and they're gonna be like, oh, these are like cool people, fun concept, you know, like it's you know, you're slowly like building community, branching out, which I think that's been the most effective way, like for me to like build my art too, has just been actually connecting with people and like branching out like with community, not just like, oh, I'm hot shit, everybody should love me. It's like, no, like let's connect, like we're friends, you bring your friends, everybody benefits.
And it's like this podcast, of course, as some of you may know who's watching us, who's from day one, this is not the only thing that we do. You know, this podcast, it's like we're really heavy into it. So it's like if you look at our YouTube account, it's just podcast, episode this, episode that, like nothing, and then wedding video, and then podcast. You know, it's just like, sorry, I got an eyelash in my eye. We just been grinding with our personal stuff, with like our jobs, like me teaching, her working at a dispensary. And it's like, of course, we're not trying to like focus just in that, but we're trying to set this like foundation of setting ourselves up for doing more, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's, you have all of those different grinds going on, but also it's like creativity is like a cornerstone of your life. Yeah. Like it's not your whole life, but it's this like cornerstone that'll like branch out into other things. Yeah. And that's how I'm trying to see things too. Like I'm just now kind of like trying to learn how to have a little bit of like a better balance. Cause like for a while, like this past year, I haven't like worked a day job much. Like I've been a nanny for like since college. That's kind of been like my day job. I would like teach music and like be a nanny and just like do stuff with kids, because like I started off because it was super easy to like exploit rich people. I lived in Orange County. I went to school in Orange County, so at first it was just really easy to exploit rich people for their kids. Like they would pay for anything for their kids. Like you teach music lessons, they'll pay you whatever,
and they have it too.
If you're a nanny, like they'll pay whatever you want, you know. So it was just an easy like thing to do for like such a long time. And then like this past year, like I was able to like kind of stop working for a while and just like focus on music. But then I was like, damn, you kind of have to like work and like live life and like be in shitty situations to be creative, you know, like you have to kind of have that like full balance. So like when I get back, I'm probably gonna find like some completely like random job that I've never done before, just because I realize that that's kind of like an integral part of like keeping that balance. Like you can't just sit at home and like ruminate all day and expect like creativity to come out. You actually have to like go out and be around people. You
gotta open up your horizons every now and then.
Yeah, which sucks because I hate working, but
I do too, bro.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. I'm gonna sip on this one because I like the taste.
Go ahead. I haven't had a job in like 4 years, so like I was just like, I don't want to fucking go to work. I don't want to, but I mean, I wasn't about to just go get any job, you know what I mean? So I got that job offer, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. I wouldn't do anything else, but as far as like a job, but
if you're like lucky enough to be like, all right, I'm gonna like try to find something that fits me, and like luckily now I'm like in that position where I can be like, all right, I'm gonna go back and I'm actually gonna really try to find, because I'm like, I want to be around people, like I want to have that camaraderie of like fellow workers who are like, oh, our boss sucks, don't they, you know, like just having like people
that whole like theme of,
I wanna like
just be involved.
I'm going to unionize. I'm going to get everyone into communism. Like, you can't do that unless you're working, right?
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, shit, it's raining.
Is it really?
I brought the fucking rain, y'all. I
Or
brought
is it windy?
I hear rain.
I smelled rain earlier.
I smelled rain when I got
don't look
here.
up, but that thing is breathing. But.
No, I heard a little something too.
But there's a lot of trees.
Yeah, it could be the trees
like around us.
Oh, got
so
it.
like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. This is zen.
It's like, I know our house is like crappy.
It's only been abandoned for a while.
Yeah, it's only
this
been
was
abandoned.
your dad's place?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember being here like once, like for a birthday party, and we like swam in the mud.
Oh shit!
At least a memory stands out.
Yeah.
So
it's scary out here, though. I'm genuinely scared when I come out to like Glen Acres. Like,
why?
I don't know. It's always creeped me out.
It is creepy out
I've
here.
lived so many places and been so many creepy places, but there's something very creepy about Glen Acres.
The whole land.
There really is creepy.
Some shit happened here. The ancestral lands are like holding on to trauma.
Bro, honestly, okay, so
I think I just like over time I've kind of like just zoned it out to arms like, oh, it's just the ghost children again.
It's the ghost children.
Yeah, you can learn to live with it, to live with the spirits.
There's a lot of
and like we have so many. Oh, sorry, I'm doing a good job. Like we have so many cats and dogs and everything. I'm like,
it's one either. Of them.
There's three options: it's cat, dog, or it's a ghost.
There's I don't know. There's times where we hear footsteps, but it's like it's just one of the dogs. But is it though?
That's why you have so many animals. You never you have so many animals that you can always just assume blame it on it's one of the animals.
Like shit falls down. Oh man, you fucking dumb cat. Yeah, or like I don't know, weird smells, and it's like one of the dogs farted. Damn it. You know what I mean? Like weird shit, and I'm just like, wait.
That's a ghost hack. Like have so many animals that you don't even notice.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's like whenever you watch like scary movies and things like that. Something's always happening to a family that doesn't want animals in their house. That's on them.
You're right. Or they'll have one and like something bad happens to it. And like you should have multiple. Like, is the ghost gonna kill all 10 of your dogs and cats?
Right.
Are they?
No.
I mean if they do start killing all 10 of them, then it's like, obviously something's going on. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah, like that's the canary in the coal mine. All 10 of our cats and dogs got killed by this entity.
Wow.
So like in my film class, like we were watching a lot of short horror films.
Yeah.
Because they're into that. Like the horror stuff.
Sure.
And then they go home and cry to their parents that they can't sleep at night.
Maybe. I'm like, this is what you guys asked for, so we're watching it. So we're watching it, whatever, and then they're like, don't go in the room. This is why white people die all the time. Because they go into the room and things like that. I'm like, you guys, listen to me. If you guys were to think logically inside of a movie and like, that doesn't seem right, I'm gonna walk the other way. End of movie.
Yeah.
So of course they're gonna go in there because that's what happens in the movie. They gotta go into it, and they're all, oh yeah. I'm like, duh.
Right. Yeah. It's
so
for
think smarter.
It's for the storytelling.
Yeah.
And also, have you been in that kind of position? Do you know what you would do? Maybe you would go in the room. I don't know.
That's true. It's like you don't know what's happening. You're like, there's some noises going on. I'm gonna go see what's going on. Walk into the room. Oh shit! It's a ghost.
Oh shit! It's a ghost. Sorry, ghost. Ooh, spooky. No, but
Can I just show these gnarly?
Let me pick can I pick your scabs?
No, they still hurt a lot. I probably should have like gone and got some like medical attention at first. They were really bad. I biffed it in Sacramento on like a patch of dirt in like a bowl.
You'll be fine.
And didn't wear my elbow pads because I don't wear my elbow pads. But then after that, I learned my lesson.
So like when you foul, you're just like.
It was like a fix. So I wear wrist guards, right? Because I'm a guitarist and I don't like, that's my biggest fear is like breaking my wrist and not being able. So I face planted, but like caught my wrist, but like slid so fast that it was just right onto like my forearms.
So it's like you'd rather break your elbows than your wrist?
Lesson learned. Yeah, the logic is there now. It's like, because it seems like the least likely, because when you fall, you try to catch yourself with your hands first, right? So that's why. And I wear knee guards too, because I've been doing like dropping into transitions and stuff. So I'm like, I've biffed it onto my knees a lot. So I'm like, that's necessary. Helmet is necessary because I don't want to break my noggin. But it's like so easy to neglect elbow. But yeah, that taught my lesson. Like you need your elbows to play guitar also, as it turns out.
I like how you say noggin.
Your noggin. Your bonk your noggin. Your noggin. That's the nanny in me. You bonked your noggin.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
How many shots does it take to get through this podcast? Is what I'm
12. No.
I'm glad I told my sister to drop me off. She was like, if you're doing their podcast, you should probably let me drive.
Yeah. 6 to 8.
I don't know. There's been times where we only like finish like half of this and we're like, oh man, I'm fucked up.
But I love that there's like a decanter too that you guys use, like the skull decanter. I have a few, but they've only ever been for like decoration.
Yeah, and it's a mix and match of not mix and match. It's just a mix. Well, not mix and match, but
what do you mean?
In the glass, it's like you don't know what we're drinking.
Oh,
obviously it's still tequila. Don't get me wrong. It's not piss.
I'm just
it's not
like
water.
The theme of the podcast is to see how this conversation like devolves as we get drunker.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. It's like oh my god.
I feel like towards the end it just gets funnier. Like throughout, like it's like at first it's like oh okay cool yeah, and then like throughout the episode it's like it just gets funnier and
because like on our like edit and stuff like that. So like at the beginning clips, it's like one long strip of like smooth stuff. Everything's happening. But once it starts getting to the end, it's like, cut.
I can't use this.
I'm like, what are we even talking about? Like, dude, you said the same thing 15 times in a matter of 2 minutes.
I need some shade.
Oh,
you bastard.
No,
and he's another one that likes to steal the show too.
Oh my goodness, let him. What cool coloration. I don't think
He's a Siamese tabby.
Siamese cross-eyed thing.
Well, because he's Siamese, asshole.
Oh.
Don't make fun of him.
Good coloration.
That's Christopher Keyman.
Bad behavior.
What was I gonna say?
Hi.
Oh yeah. So just a minute ago, we were talking about like sunsets and stuff like that, right? In the Southwest or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, do states have different sunsets? 'Cause like, you know, people are like, people talk about Texas sunsets, but then people are like, New Mexico sunsets are better, but then Arizona sunsets are better. But then it's like, wait, we're not too far apart, but obviously like these 3 states are like massive states.
They're
you know?
massive, yeah.
So it's like they're obviously going to be different. So like, which state actually has a better sunset?
Arizona.
Kinda, yeah.
Is that why their flag is like obviously a sunset?
I think it has a lot to do with like the mountain ranges and like the physical like landscapes and like valleys and like I don't know science shit, but I think like, you know, distance from the sun, because it's like, yeah, like, I mean, no, New Mexico has like beautiful sunsets, like in Las Cruces. I don't remember which way is the Oregon Mountains. Oregon Mountains are east.
They're east.
Yeah.
So
East
sunsets in the west, right? So I'm trying to think. I think it really just like depends, like literally city to city throughout the Southwest, depending on like the mountains and like the landscape.
True.
Like I think that really dictates it. But in the Southwest, I have noticed that the coloration is always like Arizona and New Mexico. I think the coloration is just so much more broad and like intense.
Yeah.
And in Seattle, like during the summer, it's like light out to like 9-10. So in the summer, you can get some pretty wild sunsets, but it's just so obscured by, you know, there's mountains, trees, like that all just kind of obscures everything, so you don't really get a lot of it. But the Southwest, yeah, I definitely miss just like being able, and like it's so we
Darn
good? Are they fucking this up?
No, it's there. Somebody,
Is it like,
no, it's the neighbor dog.
It's like they might stop in 2 minutes. They might stop in 10 minutes.
So the neighbor dog, like,
we just kind of fight through it.
yeah, the neighbor dog, like, he kind of comes out and goes, wah, wah, and then they're like, ah, and they're just like going back and forth, like between like the fence, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Doing dog shit. You know?
dog shit, yeah. But yeah, no, sunsets.
Yeah. So I noticed that too, because like in Cruces, like when the sun sets, it's like it's flat as shit, and then one little mountain, and then flat.
yeah.
But then in Lawrenceburg, we have the Chiricahua Mountains, right?
Right.
And then so we have like mountains. And then I don't know. I think Lawrenceburg's sunsets is better than Las Cruces sunsets.
Oh, I
think
But-
I think so too.
But that has to go with obviously with the mountains like distorting the light rays and the color and everything.
Yeah, it's very specific to like, and just in general though, like the landscape of the Southwest is where you can be anywhere and just kind of see around you like for miles. Like once you get like away from a few buildings, you can see. And then like moving to cities, it's like it was such a weird claustrophobic feeling. And also like you can't see the sun as well, and like you can't see the sunsets as well, but just the general claustrophobic feeling of like, I don't know what is 5 miles from me, you know, like, but we live here in the desert, and you can see, like, you know,
it's just like open.
you know your it's open.
Yeah.
You know your surroundings, and like you grow up that way, and it's like wired into your brain. And then being in a city, and it's just like it's a whole different like mental space that you're in. Like I don't know, like where is this? It's almost like always looking for the exit, right? Like you see these buildings, and it's like I'm always looking for how do I get out of this back to nature. Right? Yeah. Like how am I going to get out of this city? How am I going to get back to open space? Like that is kind of always in the back of my mind, just because I'm used to just like open space. I can see everything around me.
Ooh.
I'm so fortunate just because I'm like, you know what? I want to look at the sun right now. Walk across the street,
Yeah.
And then sit there and like, damn, that is a beautiful ass sunset.
Right?
You could see the sky, the sun, the stars.
It's quiet. There's nothing.
Stars are underrated.
Yeah.
So underrated.
Dude,
I can't
they are,
fucking see
yeah.
stars from where I live in West
Ew.
Seattle. I can't see stars. It's a lot. I mean, living closer to the coast anywhere, there's a lot of like overcast, so you can't see.
Right.
But then I like driving through the desert at night on my way here, I was like, stars
You're all,
are a
holy
thing.
shit.
Like
Yeah.
stars exist.
Yeah.
The constellations. Like I haven't seen them for I don't know how long.
On
Damn,
a good,
that sucks.
yeah,
It
on
sucks.
on a good
That
night, you
sucks.
can see like the Milky Way out there.
Yeah.
So it's like that's cool as fuck.
Yeah, the view of the sky down here in Lordsburg is like very underrated. Like,
Like-
you guys should have like groups. Like there should be a club here for
There's-
looking at the stars.
Right. There's an
Jesus.
observatory somewhere in the
Animus-
area.
Animus?
An Animus area.
Is there?
I don't
That's
remember.
what I just found out
Something.
recently, because at the dispensary, they're like the artwork that's in there is all like spacey
Yeah.
themed, and there's a lot of canvases that they got printed, and there are pictures that were taken like from like that area, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I didn't know that there was that like there's an observatory around here apparently, and I'm like, that's fucking cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that Portales is, which I guess that's somewhere between like here and Tucson, like the turn off to Portales.
Oh,
Tucson,
yeah.
turn right. And I've heard that that's
Wait,
actually
Portales. Yeah.
Portal?
No, Portal.
Is it
No,
not Portal? I think Portales. That's like a different thing. Like it's not like off the 10, but it's like there's a turn off somewhere.
It's
I
like
think.
somewhere over there.
Well,
I think if
I'm
that's what I'm
curious now.
thinking of, but
Just so that we're
it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like one of the like best places. Like in, I don't even know if it's just in America or in this hemisphere to just like blind like with your bare eyes just to see the stars, like the least like light pollution, just to like look at the constellations and like the stars.
So Portales is east New Mexico.
East of New Mexico?
Yeah, like by Clovis.
I swear, I think it's somewhere between Tucson and Lawrenceburg that I'm thinking of. It's like a turn off of the 10, but
So it would be Portal.
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess Portal. I guess you're right. It's
Yeah,
Portal.
because Portal makes the most sense because that's what's there.
Okay, it's
Portal.
between Lordsburg and like Tucson-ish.
I mean, you gotta
vaguely.
go
Yeah.
off.
You gotta
a
go
little
off.
bit. But
Okay, yeah, but generally, broadly, like this area is like one of the best places to see the stars without light pollution.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's so, and it's living here your whole life, you probably don't think of that. You're like,
Right.
this is normal.
Yeah.
But then you like move to a city, you can't see the sky, you can't see the
That's
stars.
depressing,
It's
dude.
depressing.
On the
Move.
Move on.
Come back.
on the rare occasions whenever I'd be at my grandparents' house
Yeah.
to be there at night because there were at one point in time when we would go over there, but events would only happen during the day, right? Never at night. So whenever we are there at night, we are there at night.
It's
Look up.
freaking spooky out there, man.
It is spooky, but
Dark
whenever
as
you look
shit.
whenever you look up, you're just like, holy shit! The night is so much more clear than it is here in Lordsburg. And
Yeah.
Lordsburg is clear, but over
Yeah.
there it's like,
I think so. Whenever we first moved here,
yeah,
and then I think it was like the first week that we stayed in this house,
Mhm.
and we went outside across the street. There was like a meteor shower or something.
oh yeah,
And we
yeah.
actually saw it, and like that was like the first time I ever saw like anything like that. And I was like, "Yep, this is it. That's what did it for me." And I was like, "All right, I'm staying," because it was still like, "Oh man, I don't know how to feel about like living here again or whatever."
Yeah.
You know, it was like weird, but I was like, "Nah, I'm cool with this." And that was fucking awesome. Yeah. And then just like seeing like the sunsets like just out there and looking that way, and you're just like, holy shit, like it's cool. The reason I think Arizona has better sunsets is because they're more purpley.
They are, yeah. There's a bigger like spectrum of colors
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, in Tucson, I liked going to different places and seeing just the different range
Yeah.
of like the sunsets.
I feel like out here it's more like this,
yeah, for
and
sure.
then in Arizona it's more like
this.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
the pinks, the purples, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the oranges. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful out there.
That's
honestly.
funny. That's interesting.
I miss it. I miss it to a degree. Yeah. It's been interesting this trip because I've gone through basically like every place that I've lived. Like I started in Seattle and then like went through NorCal, which I don't have any attachment to NorCal, but then I lived in Orange County. So I went through Orange County and stayed with a college friend in like Orange County and was like I had a lot of just like bad feelings towards that area just from college. Like I went to a Christian college that was very just kind of oppressive, and it's hard to explain, but it was just like very mentally and spiritually like manipulative, and that was like
a cult.
I mean, yeah, like I think evangelical Christianity is a cult in a lot of ways, but it was like that, and it was like integrated with like my liberal arts degree also, and so it was just a lot of just constant like manipulation. So I had and also living in Orange County and realizing how like white and racist it was. Like I lived here my whole life, right? Yeah. So I'd never experienced racism before, and then I go there and I'm like, you know, you try to be friends with the white people and they don't want to be your fucking friend. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I'd never experienced like that, you know, I'm used to being like I'm the one in my friend group who like didn't know Spanish and like didn't know as much about the culture. So I like didn't feel like I would be perceived as like super Mexican, but there was a lot of racism and just whiteness and just a whole other like side of like Christian white culture that I had never experienced.
Kind of culture shock a little bit.
It was culture shock. It was like rejection. It was like just confusion. Like seeing how other people perceived me, like living out of New Mexico for the first time in my life and just like seeing how people perceived me.
Get a little bit closer.
Scooted.
You keep like
but yeah, so like I had a lot of bad feelings towards that, and like my friend who I stayed with, he had also like he'd been going through like a lot of difficult things too. So he was a former therapist and like he's a life coach now, so he had a lot of good perspectives on that though. And he was like, you don't have to like, you know, like I know this place holds a lot of difficult feelings for you, but like you don't have to see any place as like holding those memories. Like you can just see this place for what it is. Like the land is just the land. It doesn't know that you like experience this. Like you can still love Orange County for the ocean and the landscape and for what it is. And then it was like going through Tucson and just all these like more good memories from Tucson, because I had like 2 bands in Tucson and I was like playing out all the time, and I had this whole like community. Like for the first time in my life I really felt like community. And then so that was sad, like thinking back to that, like, oh, I don't really have that as much anymore. But just kind of learning how to like go through place to place and just kind of like release that, you know what I mean? Like release those attachments, and like this is just a place, like I don't have to feel anyway. And then here, this is the place that is like where I grew up, so this is the furthest from where I have like, this is like where I have my core memories, but it's like the furthest from the last place that I lived. So it's like I don't mentally have those like attachments. Like I don't remember that much, but like I get here and like I feel that, you know, like I feel those like core just like childhood memories and those like core attachments. And I'm like, can I be in this place and just like release that and just like view this with like in like meditation and like the view of like Buddhism and like releasing attachments and stuff. You learn to just kind of view every experience as like a new experience with like curiosity. So it was kind of like, can I come back to these places where I have all these memories, a little bit of trauma, and just like view it through like a new curiosity, right? Like a new lens. Like I have friends here, I have family here, but can I still like come back here and just like not have to see it through like the lens of how I grew up? So that has been like a really interesting experience like through this road trip. But
that is interesting.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, how do I say it? Obviously within Lordsburg there's people like us, or you know, all 3 of us, and a lot of us who have this feeling of I'll never come back to Lordsburg, or I'll never visit Lordsburg again, or like I'll never step foot in Lordsburg again. But yet, after time, we grow up, we start becoming, you know, we just start discovering ourselves and everything like that sort, to where we come back and we're like, you know what, like
not all that bad.
It's not all that bad. Like rich people who grew up in cities look for places like this to settle down and like, I'm gonna have a simple life. But this is how we grew up. Like we grew up here. We grew up with this simple life.
It's like we go out there and enjoy the city life. We go out there and have ventures and everything of the sort. It's like, shit, this is 20,000 times better than Lordsburg. Obviously there is. Yeah. Any city is better than Lordsburg, but Lordsburg isn't
bad.
I mean, all those cities out there is not technically home.
No.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
Which is weird. It's like,
it's cool to go out and visit and shit, but like it's good to come back home.
Right, like there's only so many things that like we're all seeking experiences, right? Like what can entertain us? Where can we find the most fun, the most bars, the most like people, like cultural experiences,
entertainment, just dopamine and all that shit.
Like, right, and that's all like good to like a degree. Like everybody. And especially if you're able to get out of your small town, you're just like, I want to experience all this stuff. Like that's fine. That's great. But also it's good to like take a step back and realize that like real happiness and contentment never comes from those things. Like you can experience the full range of everything, but like actual like contentment comes from just like being happy, just being, you know, and I've realized so much through like everything I've been through this year of just like being somewhere where there's not a lot of stimuli. And like we grew up kind of in the internet age, but without to this degree of like phones and like social media and stuff like that. We were so still
you still had to like go out there and search for that, you know?
Right. Like we weren't all just like on the internet all the time. We were still we all grew up in the era of like going outside, finding your friends and playing and just like living the slow life. Like
we're that transition age.
We're that transition. Yeah, we're that transition where it's like you watch whatever is on cable and once it gets boring, you go out and you find something else to do. And then coming back
binge for 6 hours.
Yeah, but like this is like kind of the physical manifestation of like that mindset where it's like there's not like you can't just like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna go to the fill in the blank in Lordsburg. You know, there's not all of these things to like fill your entertainment to get that like dopamine. It's like, you know, where are my friends at? What are my friends doing? What are my family? You know, your entertainment is like connecting with people. If you're from a small town, like you could stay home and like binge TV and stuff. Like that's an option. But here it's kind of like removing all of those, like all of that external stimuli that like keeps you from like having to sit with yourself and just be still. And it's like, like coming back, I'm just like, that's what I crave now is just like cutting out all of the stuff that I need to like distract me from like feeling my feelings, distract me from everything that's going on in my life. And it's like, it feels good to just be somewhere where you don't have a lot of options. It's like you be with people, maybe watch a little TV, but other than that, you just kind of have to be okay with just being. And that's been kind of, that's been a good feeling, an uncomfortable feeling, but it's been something that I've been like seeking this year for sure.
So are you gonna come back? No, I'm just kidding.
So are you gonna move back or what?
No, it's cool to like, man, being in cities it's too much for me. Like I'm just like, nah, fuck this shit, bro. Like,
and y'all were just in like Las Cruces. That was like
and even then
that's a lot still.
Like going to like other places or whatever the fuck,
like,
and
we
it's
like
just
visiting.
Like but it's like no, I wouldn't be able to like live somewhere.
Do you feel like you guys had like a sense of community there though? Did you have like friends?
Cruces?
Las Cruces.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A small circle for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like that's really what makes the difference is if you find like a new family, like a found family, and like lock into that community. But and of course, like living under capitalism, though we don't have a choice but to like when like COVID happened, we were like, oh shit, like how are we gonna survive? So I'm sure that kind of colored your.
And it's fucking sucked because like whenever COVID happened, it's like weeks before COVID was like we gotta shut down. We made this decision to like
quit our jobs,
get out of here, and focus on
our careers,
our profession and all that.
Yeah.
COVID happened and we're like, well
shit.
That sucks.
We literally couldn't do anything or go anywhere.
We couldn't go do weddings. We couldn't do photo sessions. We couldn't do, interaction.
Anything.
Yeah, that was your business. It was like photo stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Like, that was,
Yeah, we couldn't do anything. Where it's like, well, we got put down to like not interact with anybody for the next
however long.
hopefully 2 weeks.
Right?
They were like, a month tops. It'll be fine.
They're like, yeah, we'll. I was like, all right, we'll just wait it out. And then next thing you know, a month later, we're like, we still got to stay indoors.
This is not how pandemics work. Sorry.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, there's unemployment, but we literally just quit like 2 weeks before they said we could. I'm like, could we get it? I don't know. Luckily, the government didn't really like pay attention to that shit.
Yeah.
We still got like the fortunate side of getting the unemployment benefits and stuff. We're like, sure, we'll ride that boat for a while.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, everybody I know did. You didn't have a choice. Like when I lived in Tucson, it was all just like creative people who like thrived on being like out and about. And like my day job was a nanny. And then I had this like thriving music career. We were on tour when like shutdown happened and we were like, oh, we're going to be like big shit. And it was like, no, you're going to fucking go home and not play music again for 2 years. That's what you're going to do. And so it's like, like I couldn't nanny because like that wasn't safe because they were still going to work and like nobody was like, it was in Tucson. Nobody was wearing like masks and especially like.
Yeah, Arizona was like totally against it.
Yeah, like all of the like rich white people I worked for, nobody was wearing masks. They didn't give a shit. So it was like, I can't work. I'm gonna get sick. And like my partner had like other illnesses where I had to be like very careful. So it was just like we had to stay home, and we were lucky because he like had a good job. We were very lucky like compared to everybody else. I don't think either of us had to do like the unemployment thing. So like all things considered, like I'm very grateful for like how that turned out to us. But like my music career got like completely just shut down for 2 years, like I was like, I had 2 bands and like we were doing things and like going places. Then it was like, no, you're actually not. And
not gonna.
you're gonna. I was very depressed. I didn't know what to do. Like I really like I'm sure it happened for everybody, but you're just. I think we all underestimated like the mental health impact that had of like your whole life, all the goals you're working towards, and then boom, nope, go home.
Put a pin in that.
Put a pin in that. Yeah. It was very hard. And like, it took me a while to kind of like come to terms with like how much that had like affected me. And like, what will be like, obviously there's nothing any of us could have done about a pandemic. Like I'm sure everybody had to like change their life plans.
It was such a
shit show.
It was a shit.
It was.
Yeah, it was. And like I wish people would talk about it more because it's like it's hard to like complain about it when we like lived, because it's like so many people died or had like I know people still that have long-term illnesses who got that first round of COVID that was so bad, who still have like long-term illnesses from that. And so it's like, we were lucky, like we lived, we got out of it, but it's like
it either like kind of fucked you up a little bit or it killed you.
Jesus
exactly
Christ.
Yeah. And like the rest of us who survived though, were like, oh, it messed up my career. We're like, we shouldn't say anything, but it was like very depressing. It sucked. Like it changed everything.
When people say, oh, it's just a hoax, I'm like, I hope it was something that did happen.
My nana died. I don't know if it was a hoax. Yeah, like obviously something happened.
It's like something happened. Something happened to where it shut down the whole world. So
I caught it after 2 vaccines, and it was definitely the worst illness I had ever experienced. So I was like, I think people probably like did die of this, and I think it probably was as bad as we thought it was. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just the fact that we all had to like kind of change our life plans and like. It sucked. Like it really just like the mental health impact on me. I tried to like downplay it for a long time and be like, I'm fine. Like I'm alive. Like I didn't have to like do unemployment. I survived. Like, but now that like coming out of, and I started therapy like a few months ago and kind of had to like reckon with a lot of things I had been ignoring, but I realized like I had really been ignoring that. Like I was like going somewhere with like my music and then it stopped and I felt like this is not a big deal. Being a musician, like who gives a shit about you and like what you're going through. But like that was my life. That was like everything I had been like working for. And so I had really like downplayed how much that had like affected me. But it really did. I had put a lot of work into this one thing for a really long time, and just for it to completely shut down. And then I moved to like a whole other city in the middle of that, which didn't help things at all. So it was just like a lot to like, and just suppressing that the whole time. Like, I'm fine. I'll get out of this. Okay. I'll just ignore it.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Stupid ass COVID, man.
Oof.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still,
When's
yeah.
the shot?
I think we need one.
Is it time?
It's
time.
like whenever your sister said, "Yeah, it'd probably be best to drive you."
I was like, no, I'll be fine. I'll probably have like 1 or 2 drinks,
It's
and then
like, bro, we don't drink that much.
Yeah.
But sometimes we do.
time.
Sometimes we do. Sometimes
That's one of
even
the
on,
best
like, a
qualities about our
fucking-
podcast is that like we take shots, man.
even like on a Monday, we're just like,
Yeah,
What's
Hey,
an
like-
excuse to drink?
we're not like
all day long,
no, we're just like
just
we're men about this, all right?
Yeah. I was trying to be like, so I was like, hey, well, I mean, realistic, like when I'm in the city and I want to go somewhere and have drinks with friends, I'm like, I have to drive there. And it's like, so I'll have like a drink, maybe 2 drinks if we're going to be there a long time. And then like, I'll like eat something, wait till I sober up. And then I have to drive home, right? Like I wait till I'm sober and then I drive. Cause that's like logistically, that's all I can do. An Uber ride would be $100 in Seattle. There and back, $100. And I'm right.
Like,
no,
how many
I'm not fucking kidding you.
miles?
that's gross.
I live close to downtown, and it's like even maybe like, and it's just like the length of time to get there. Like one night of Uber there and back, $100. I kid you not. I kid you not. So you have to plan it out. You have to like drive there. You have a few drinks, and then you like eat and wait until you sober up and drive back. Like that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's what I'm gonna do here. And she's like, no, you're not. I'm gonna drive you. Like she's like, and you have out of state plates. Like we're not even taking this risk. I was like, all right, I'll trust you. Yes. And now I'm glad that I did that because this is like our fourth. I don't know.
Lost count.
I'm sipping. I'm still sipping.
Okay, fine.
Take your time.
You do what you gotta do.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Like we put it back, but you do what you do.
I work in the morning.
At what time?
9. That's not bad.
That's not bad.
9 to 7, 10 hours.
That's not bad. Do you work like how many days a week?
Kind of varies.
When they need you,
4 or 5. 30 hours tops.
Okay.
Yeah, but
because they don't want you to be full time.
Yeah, no. Well, because I said I would be part time, and you literally are either part time or full time. There's no like going over your hours. Like they can only give you a certain amount of hours if you are part time, and I'm just like, I can't do like at this point. 30 hours is even too much. I'm just like, I need more time off.
Oh, I feel that so much.
Because I'm like
we're
just doing shit all the time.
Yeah, we're doing shit like this weekend we're going to Cruces for a photo session.
In White Sands.
I
love it. Yeah. As a creative, you just can't fucking work your day job too much. It's impossible. Right. Your brain needs so much time to just like vibe out.
Yeah, and it's a pastime day job thing and whatever.
It's like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
It's a Band-Aid.
It's like we're not.
It's an elbow pad.
We're not gonna like
an elbow pad.
Like we're not gonna be like 1,000% like into our job. Like my job. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like it's just like no, it's just a job.
Yeah.
It's just a job.
That's why I was like, I'm already ready to quit, dude. Because I'm like, bro,
I've been working so much.
And
I feel that.
And it's, I mean, like. Whenever like we have our like disagreements about like working or whatever, for me it's like because like I'm in this I guess
I need to take my shot.
path or whatever.
She needs to take it.
Like I'm in this path of like I'm able to like teach my profession to the students here in Lordsburg about filmmaking and creative writing and like being open and being expressive and everything like that, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I have been spending quite a bit of time there, but that's just because I'm establishing myself to this position to do something like that, and it's only taken me a handful of couple years, to be where I'm at right now, which is like.
He started as a sub.
Yeah, I started as a sub like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, like with not even a teaching degree, right? With a film degree.
Well, I have a degree in filmmaking.
Yeah, right. So you were able to do kind of like worm your way in there with like that's dope. Like and being able
like,
to.
I just have this whole like idea inside of my head of like, and I think it has to do with like manifestation and everything of the sort because like I'm here to create a change inside of Lordsburg of like putting something out there that you don't have to be the basic careers. You don't have to go to the mines to have a life or anything like that. You know,
Right.
it's like
money. You don't have to be like in a big city to be successful or whatever. Mookie's rolling.
She's rolling, 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 rolling,
Rolling.
rolling with the whole
rolling,
rolling with the whole
rolling on the river.
Rolling. Keep
Oh, shit.
rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep rolling. Okay, that's enough. Sorry, Moo.
Ready for another shot?
Might as well.
Yo, we should. What's that over there? What is it? Oh, did you want some of this? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I
You
do.
want some
'cause I
lemonade?
finished.
No, I'm good.
This is a thing.
What is that?
We got this as a gift. It's
We?
Maestro.
I thought it was my gift.
Oh, so apparently it was for us.
Oh.
Maestro.
I was told it was for me. Never mind, I don't want it.
Oh, there was something I saw today on Instagram, and it was like It was like a Lordsburg. I don't know who shared it, but it was like some like Lordsburg organization for like subscription. Like people pay a little bit of their paycheck into it, and it's.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Maverick movement.
The Maverick movement. Okay.
Yeah. Oh
I
shit!
didn't.
And Freeport.
I figured it out.
Oh,
Okay, so it was like everybody pays a little bit of their paycheck, and it to make the community better, right?
yeah. Okay.
All right. I
Something.
didn't.
Something.
What the
something.
Something
fuck
like that.
kind of shit?
Can you not get it out?
No, I can, but I'm like, why?
This
Why?
looks fancy. All right, I didn't comment on anything, but I was like, everybody's paying a little bit of their paycheck in, right? It's going to improve the community for everybody. That's
Or
the basis of.
add to the community.
Okay, but that's the basis of socialism,
I don't
and
trust
everybody.
that.
Okay,
I
yeah,
have
sure.
trust
I don't
issues.
know who's running that. I don't know whatever, but I wanted to be like, yo, like that's the basis of socialism. Is like everybody is distributing like what little wealth they have to help everybody, and it's like when you phrase it that way, people are like, yeah, like help the community. But like if you changed our entire system of capitalism into socialism, where we all like instead of taxes, we were just paying into all these systems that helped everybody, they'd be like socialism. But that's what it is, right? Everybody like pays a little bit of their money and it helps everybody. You just have to phrase it in a way that doesn't scare the small towns.
Fuck. So you're saying it's a scam?
No, I'm not saying it's a scam.
It's not a
like
scam. It's
socialism
just
is positive. It's not capitalism.
It's just the
instead
way
of-
you word it.
It's just the way you word it, right? So instead of profits going to one person who hoards the wealth, the profits are distributed for
everybody.
everyone, for our community.
You get $1.
For our community.
You get $1. You get $1.
Oprah?
Yeah.
No, I mean, not she's problematic,
This
but
smells-
she's a billionaire.
No,
Obviously,
but-
she's not distributing her wealth
Bro,
No.
that much because
No.
she's a
people
billionaire.
have no
But I'm
business
just- I'm
being
just saying, it's like,
billionaires, man.
If
the fuck are you gonna do with $1 billion?
Hoard
I don't know.
it and say I'm a billionaire.
it's just to create the idea of like how much money does Bill Gates actually have. So it's like there was a video that I saw and it was like this person was like, I'm gonna buy the whole NFL.
Are they paying you for this?
No, I
Okay.
just wanted to give a shout out to my secret admirer. Apparently,
Maestro.
this dude. He's like, "Hey, I got you a bottle from your secret admirer." I was like, "What?" And then he was like, "Yeah, I got you a bottle from your secret admirer." And I'm like, "Dude, way to keep a secret. Like, some secret is like he told me he gave me
From
this
him.
bottle." Yeah, and I was like, "All right." And Daniel was like, "No, it's for us." And I was like, "He told me it was for me."
Well, he
Ladies?
told me it was for us.
Look, hot ladies should always have secret admirers, even if they're locked down. It keeps you humble, you know. It's like
Bro, he's married.
Stay humble.
stay humble. Your lady always has other admirers.
Distribute the money however you want to distribute. But somebody was like,
Cheers
it was
to
a video
modern-day
that I saw.
slavery.
They bought the whole NFL team, 5 commercials for the Super Bowl, 20 Ferraris, just a bunch of like
Ew.
bizarre shit, right? And then it's like, oh yeah, but out of all the money that Bill Gates he still has $14 billion after all that.
What are you gonna do with $1 billion?
Nothing.
Just
Exactly.
one.
That's
$1 billion.
the point. It's like those people that are like they're the smart people. Those smart people can hoard all of that wealth, and then the rest of us are poor.
Do they still have to
And
work?
no.
They don't work at all.
They
have people
they
working for
can
them.
lose
They
like
don't do shit.
they can lose billions of dollars.
Billions and billions and
And then-
billions
and then,
billions
Not
and
even
billions
notice.
and billions.
Yeah, they wouldn't notice.
It would make no
That's
difference.
fucking stupid. That's the
That
dumbest thing ever.
is capitalism.
It's
You know
it's
what,
ridiculous.
guys?
Like, oh man,
I'm-
I know when I miss $1.
Y'all made me realize that, like, the job that I have right now is, like, the best job ever. Just selling weed all day.
Damn.
Like, dude, I don't do shit.
I mean,
get paid,
contentment,
like,
sure. That's a spiritual issue. Being content in whatever you're doing to make a living, that's a spiritual
true. Yeah,
issue.
that's true.
But beyond that, we should all be fighting capitalism.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Did you shoot it or sip
I
it?
shot it.
Is it
I
gross?
know, I'm
it was
sipping
great.
it.
Smooth?
It was great.
Why shoot it if it's delicious?
I don't know, because I like to get the whole full effect.
Lucy,
shut up.
Thank you, Daniel.
No, it's like I put it in my mouth, let it sit there for a minute, swallowed it, and I was like, damn, that tastes like tequila for sure.
I don't know if I like
good.
it.
It tastes like tequila.
It's sweet.
No, it is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy, relax, man.
Can we talk about emo girl shit now?
Emo girl
yeah,
shit?
I was about to say, it's like let's.
What about
let's
emo
get-
girl shit?
I was gonna
I
say
don't
let's get out of the
know.
whole capital shit.
That's all I talk about.
It's emo girl shit?
Emo girl shit. Capitalism. Spreading the good
Wait,
world.
Emo girl
Do you know
shit.
what this
Capitalism.
is?
No.
Tell me
Fine
you
line.
don't?
It looks familiar, but I don't know.
Okay.
Why? What is
Hey.
it?
August burns red.
Is it okay? I wasn't as into that. I feel like you had a much broader of like hardcore, like like not just like emo and punk
Like
pop, but
metal?
also like hardcore and like metal and stuff. And I wasn't. I'm into that now. Like now, that's what I like to work out to. But back then, I was more. I think I was a little more into like pop punk and like.
I know
emo.
I know Fall Out Boy was your shit.
Fall Out Boy was my shit.
Yeah.
But I learned that from you. Like you got me into Fall Out Boy, but
Did I?
then you were into all this
No.
other shit. You got me into Fall Out Boy, but then you had this whole other like
This
you
whole
were
other
all
side.
other side. But then once I saw Pete Wentz, I was like,
Girl, thank you.
yeah.
I think, oh man, Fall Out Boy. I did like Fall Out Boy. After a while, it got too much. Too many people were into it, and it kind of like
Too
just like I'm just like
mainstream. Yeah.
Like that's how I felt about Paramore too, because I was like, oh, Paramore, cool,
mainstream.
and then all of a sudden it was just everywhere, and I was like,
It was pop
And,
punk.
yeah.
Yeah. It was like appealing to like
yeah,
masses.
and I loved like I still do love pop punk, and I still listen to like a lot of that stuff. Like I still listen to Good Charlotte all the time, and Fall Out Boy, and even like I wasn't super into My Chemical Romance at the time, but now that I'm older, I'm more into it.
Me too.
And I'm like, oh, this
shit
is
back then that I was like, this is too poppy, but now I'm like,
and it's like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
Or,
That's what they meant. Or even
there's stuff that I forgot that I like liked back then that I'm
Yeah.
like I like have my emo playlist that I've been cycling through, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember that. Like I love that feeling of just like
you're like,
remembering that old stuff.
my whole fucking
Yeah, the
this
feelings
unlocks-
of like a
like-
specific moment.
yeah, it like unlocks a whole memory in your brain and
Yeah.
releases all this like shit, and you're like, oh my god, I needed this.
Yeah, I've been going through that a lot lately. Is like, cause for a while, like I didn't listen to that music because that was attached to a lot of feelings from high school and like breakups and shit. And so I was like, I can't listen to that.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, I listen to it and it's so disconnected now from like my adult
Yeah, 'cause
problems.
you're like,
I'm like,
that shit don't matter no more.
yeah, I'm like, oh, I want to feel like I felt in high school again.
And like and that, like I remember in high school, it's like I don't want to feel like this. Fuck this shit. So
Yeah.
and it's like now it's like, oh, I wish those problems were still my problems.
Yeah,
Like
those problems would be
teenagers,
better.
like you realize how dramatic teenagers were, and then you're like, why the fuck was I so sensitive? Why was I such a little bitch?
Yeah.
Over some dumb shit. Like, what the fuck?
Like-
and now you're just like, man, I wish I still had those problems.
Like before I had to like struggle to live, I could just like be
Right?
sad about dumb things.
Let me ask you guys
Yeah.
a question real quick. Is it an insult to be called, oh, you're just being emo?
Not anymore.
anymore.
I think back then it was.
It's like
people
first it
tried
was
to use
like,
that as an
okay,
insult.
but
Because that was a conversation I had today with some students during lunch. That they're like, oh,
why are you being emo?
why are you being emo? You're
That
being
would-
emo.
People say that, like kids say that now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Right, but I'm
Because
like,
when we were in high school, that would have been like they're trying to insult us.
I
like,
think the most insulting
Right.
thing
it's
when
like
we were in high school
I never,
was
to me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was like, I never saw it like, oh, you're just being emo. I'm like, that's not an insult. I
Right.
don't think it was ever.
like I have feelings. Sorry, like do you not have
Emo-
feelings?
in a sense,
do you-
like, oh, you're just being emo. Like,
do you even know
maybe I'm just like sad today. Like, leave me alone.
do you know what emo is even short for?
Emotional.
Yeah.
Emotional. Yeah.
Emo. But I think the worst insult whenever we were in high school would have been to be called a poser.
Yes.
Dude, I wrote that you're a fucking poser. No, you didn't.
I did, and I was like, I feel like I could have been such a fucking poser. I wrote that in somebody's locker.
Somebody recently, one of my friends, he was like he came over, and we were just outside. We're just outside on the porch, like summer night. We're just sitting on the porch, just drinking and listening to music, and then. Me and one of my friends, we started talking about like, oh, this band, whatever. And then this dude's like, you don't know shit about this band. You're just a poser. And I was like, bitch. And
like recently, that was recently.
Yeah, like it was like a couple months ago. But I mean, he was just joking. And then after a while, he was like, I was like, whatever. I'm just a poser. And then he was like, when did I say that? Did I say that? I was like, yeah. He's like, I'm so sorry. But you know what I mean?
That was like, yeah.
Wow.
No, you're right. That was the biggest. But now
like
it's. I feel like it's in the skate world. That's more of a thing now that I've been seeing is like on Reels and TikTok and stuff.
Posers?
Is being a poser. And I'm like just
what is a poser now?
It doesn't mean anything. That's the thing. It's like people that are threatened by people trying to be that thing. It's like if you like that. Okay, you like that. If you're trying to skate, okay, you're trying to skate.
Like people that wear like the Thrasher shirts and they're like, you even skate, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
So the way I think anybody that could be called a poser is somebody who is living a life of like suit and tie, nerd type of shit. And then being like, you know what? One day I'm gonna decide I'm gonna be a skater, get a skateboard and do shit like that.
But would that be a poser or would that be somebody just trying to explore themselves?
Right.
Like,
obviously, the person who is like trying to explore themselves, that's what they're doing is to explore themselves. But in everybody else's eyes, they're like, you're not a skater. You're somebody. You're a suit and tie person.
Right.
You're a poser.
So what I think that is, and as somebody who used to fucking call people a poser, I think also part of that is like projection because I probably felt like a poser. Like I'm not punk enough. I'm not rock and roll enough. Like part of that is projection onto other people, but also I think part of that is just closed-mindedness that we don't see that people can be multifaceted. Like we can all be so many different things. Like you can go to work and be. Sure, you can be like an office person, and then you can get off, and you can go be a skater. You can go be a punk, right? Like we all contain multitudes.
You can be whatever the fuck you want to be.
That's the thing. It's like you have to have that confidence to be like, I'm just what I am. Like I like what I like, right? But when you're in high school, we're all so sensitive, and we're also I'm this, I'm that, and you're not that.
You're a poser.
Okay, so,
you're a poser. Yeah.
You having a good time?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's like it's about right now.
Fun, being with friends, having conversations.
It's about right now, okay? It's not about yesterday or tomorrow. It's about right now.
All right, posers.
Yeah, you fucking posers.
At some point, we were all No, that's just like, it's like you connect with what you connect with. You want to be what you want to be. Yeah. Like, there's no such, even though we all have called somebody a poser at some point.
Called a poser just because, like, you like something that's out of the ordinary that you're not supposed to like.
And it's also
that you're not supposed to like. Fucking who?
Like, culturally, we love to put people in, like, boxes. Like, all the TV and movies we watch is like, you're a jock, you're a nerd, you're
a this, you're a that.
That's all because of TV, too.
That's right. And but we're all so multifaceted. Like I was like, for most of my life, I felt like, oh, I'm this smart girl. I have to be really smart. I'm like the top of my class. I have to like go to college and be like smart. But then like I like when we became friends, like in middle school and stuff, I was like, I think I'm kind of like a punk actually. You know, like I started learning from you and all of that stuff, and it was like
rebelling against like
that like vibe of like rebellion and just like that music and learning about like rock and roll and like stuff that I had never considered. I was like, oh, I'm into this. Also, like I had always known that I was like into music, like I wanted to like be a musician, but just like learning that different vibe. And then like even past that, like I went to school for music, and then I realized like I had never thought of myself as somebody who was like athletic, and then I realized like, yo, I'm actually like kind of athletic. I'm kind of into like working out and like running. I would like like running was like my main thing. Like outside of like working, I would just like run a ton. And then I started lifting weights. And then I got like a punk band after being like a singer-songwriter. So it's like we're all just so multifaceted, but our culture tries to get us to be so like you're just this one thing, man.
It's not even just like our culture, but it's also like the media and like the whole idea of like go to college, get a career, get benefits, retire. Like
that's
that
who
whole
you are,
system kind of shit. And it's like, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, it's all tied in. Like our media, our culture, our society. It's like it tries to keep us all in like this narrow frame of mind,
straight line.
Right? Yeah.
But,
and it's like things have changed so much now, like since social media and like internet and all this being able to connect and see like the possibilities are endless. Like we don't have to all get like married and have kids and just like have a dumb job. Like we could do whatever we want.
There's so much shit that like is out there for us to enjoy and to like love and to appreciate, and you know what I mean. So it's like
obviously there's a lot of positive to that.
Yeah, you're still a poser though.
You're a poser, but continue that thought.
But also, would it cause chaos though?
Maybe in a good way. Like, do we need chaos? Like, maybe we need more chaos.
We do.
Are we happy? Maybe we need some fucking chaos. We're not happy. No, who's happy? Like, raise your hand if you're happy in this situation.
Clap your hands if you're happy. Wait,
if you're happy and you know
if you're happy under capitalism and you know it, clap your hands.
Only because I really like my job. My job's so chill, bro.
I like.
But I mean, just that vibe. It's like
I like my job.
Sure, that's totally fine liking your job, but also that's not all you are. Like you don't
go
to your job and then come home and eat dinner and go to sleep. No. It's like I like my main thing is being a musician, right? And also like now I got back into skating and I like got really hard. Like I'm going back into skating. This is who I am. It's not stupid. I feel like at first I was like I feel stupid, but this isn't stupid.
Like,
I can be a 32-year-old skater and it's fine. Yeah, I'm doing what makes me happy.
What makes you happy.
Right, and I'm like,
oh, I'm sorry.
But that's like
it's
like the healthiest thing that you can do for yourself is doing what makes you happy. Like that's like the secret to like life is doing what makes you happy and just
regardless of what if the outcome is what society wants. It's like nothing I like to do produces very much money, but it's like what I like to do. So it's like at some point I have to survive, right? I have to find a way to like make money and survive under capitalism.
You gotta survive, of course, but
who I am is all these other things, right? Like I'm a musician. I like to skate. I like to like work out and be buff, but
and have fun.
I like to be a little chaos gremlin. I'm never gonna have a desk job.
Pumping
it up.
Attention.
Yeah. And it's society would have me just have a career, right?
Spear fingers.
This is your guitar solo right now.
I should have brought my guitar. I picked up my Tucson guitar. I had a guitar living in Tucson just for shows I did there, but I didn't do a lot of shows there. And so driving, I didn't want to fly with it because if you fly with a guitar, chances are they might make you put it under the plane and break it. So I got to come down here and pick up my guitar, like my PRS Starla. It's like this light.
What kind of guitars do you have?
PRS. I have at home. This one's a PRS. Yeah. The ones I have like a red sparkly Stratocaster at home, like a Fender Stratocaster at home, which was my main guitar for like my punk band. And then like I have
I'm jealous.
I have a what is it? It's like some weird brand that I don't know. It's more of it's a semi hollow body. It has like the little cutout, like a blues guitar kind of looking thing. That was for like my singer songwriting, like I don't know, like soulful stuff. But then here it's a PRS Starla that I bought from a friend, and it's just like light blue, sparkly, like has humbuckers, so perfect for like overdrive and like really heavy. Like I could do anything with that guitar. And that was the guitar that I had just sitting in Tucson in like a friend's closet. So finally I got to drive through Tucson and like pick that up. So that's that's like
what about a
Did you bring it down to Lordsburg?
Yeah. I mean it's in my it's in my car.
What about a Les Paul Gibson?
I have played a Gibson. So the thing I had my the guitar tech I have in Tucson who sets my stuff up. He was like a legit guitar tech. He toured with like Prince and people.
Oh my God.
He was a legit guitar tech, and now he's just like a dude who lives in Seattle and like sets up people's guitars. But he was like, so the main thing about guitars is a guitar is like a hunk of wood, right? And then all the hardware, right? All the hardware can be changed out. Like if you have a good solid hunk of wood, you like all the hardware on it can be changed out. So you pick a guitar based on what feels what feels good.
Yeah.
The neck, the body, like what feels good. And he was like, anything metal on this thing, as long as it like the wood is solid, like you can change all of that out to sound however you want, but it matters how this thing feels in your hands. And I was like, I like, whoa, especially as like a woman, like people don't, you have to really dig to get people to tell you anything about guitars. Like, what kind of guitar do I need for what I do? People will not fucking tell you. And so it took me so long.
You're a girl.
Right.
It literally, like, junk and shit could be a badass guitar.
It could, yeah. You just need a good setup, good like pickups, strings, like
talent.
The bridge, and talent, obviously talent. But like anything on a guitar can be changed out. But he's like, honestly, like the best thing you can do to pick a guitar is something that feels good in your hands. And my Starla, my PRS Starla that I had just sitting in Tucson was the thing that felt like the right size for like my small frame. It was like the best thing for me. So yeah, I'm taking that back to Seattle with me, and it's gonna be like my main guitar. But picking guitars, it's always been something I'm like iffy about, because it's kind of like a techie thing too. Like people are so particular about, oh, this guitar is good for this and this guitar is good for that. But I'm kind of just like, well, I don't want to waste more wood buying new guitars. So I'm just like, I have what I have. Like you can change out the hardware to make it sound like, you can change out pickups to make it sound however you want. Like it doesn't matter that much. So but yeah, I have my Starla back, so that's been like the main good thing about this trip is I get to take my guitar back to Seattle with me.
It's the main good thing.
That was like the main the physical.
Well, I mean, no, that's
physical
awesome.
manifestation of this trip. Is my
I
Starla.
feel like you were probably like looking forward to that for like a long time.
I was, because I was like, oh shit, how am I gonna get this guitar back to Seattle? Like, if you can try to take it on the plane as your carry-on, and if they're chill, they'll put it somewhere safe, like in the coat closet or something for you. But there's no guarantee that they won't just be like, you can't take this guitar. They'll chuck it under the, there's no guarantee.
It's not worth the risk.
And it was in a soft case, so I was like,
okay,
that makes sense.
If
and it has to be in a soft case to take it as a carry-on, but also there's the chance that they'll be like, they won't let you take it as a carry-on.
That sucks.
What are you doing like tomorrow night?
Nothing. Chilling.
I know a dude that plays drums.
Here?
Yeah. My brother.
Does he?
Nate. Remember Nate?
Nate. Your literal brother? Nathan.
You don't remember Nathan Martinez?
Oh, yeah. Oh. I mean, he's not your literal brother.
No, but he's still my brother.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I remember
he plays drums and shit.
Oh, yeah, if he wants to jam, I would be down to jam.
He's always down to jam.
I don't have I didn't bring an amp, but I'm always down to jam.
I'm pretty sure we can find one.
I have an amp in my room.
Oh,
well, we can find one.
Yeah.
No, I feel like you guys should jam.
Well, I route it through my computer, through my interface, and as long as there's a PA, I can route it out through the PA.
I feel like y'all should jam.
Oh, that would be fun. Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, I would like to jam with you, but at the same time,
you play guitar.
He mostly plays Red Hot Chili Peppers. I mean, hey, man.
Red Hot Chili Peppers and a lot of improv of nonsense.
Of Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Of nonsense.
Yeah, same. I can like improv by ear like pretty well. So
I like
that's all you need to jam, really.
Right.
Is being able to like improv.
I mean, I'm not very good at music theory or anything of the sort. But I like to listen and like fill in, like, oh, this is this is the groove.
Lately, you've done
like, oh no, that's not the right key.
For guitar, I feel like that's best is doing things by ear, because I went to school for music and like learned theory, but for guitar it hasn't really done me much. Like if I'm really writing a song and I'm like, oh, this chord, but mostly I do things by ear. I don't really think about like theory structure for guitar. And for like keyboard, like I play piano and keyboard and stuff, so for that it's kind of like necessary to think about. Something about guitar, it just doesn't lend itself very well to like
you
theory.
Just gotta feel it.
You feel it. You do it by ear. You really do it a lot by ear. So
like,
it doesn't matter if you don't know a lot of
theory. I feel like guitar is more like
it's confidence. It is. It's like, very vibrational, you know what I mean? Like in your soul.
You literally have to feel it.
I can't explain it. I'm like, oh, what? I'm like,
it's your fingers are like your fingers in your ears. That's really all it is. Yeah, I can't.
I've been playing it for so long. Like this sounds like this. This sounds like that. This sounds like this. I'm like, what note am I playing? I don't
exactly.
know.
Yeah, the half steps, the whole like I know the sound of a half step and a whole step and like where I need to get on the fretboard, but it's just not the same as like any other instrument. I play. It's very much you feel it out and like you have to hear it. And like when I would be on stage with my band, and I remember I used to be very focused on like looking on it, and then after a while I realized like no, you have to be able to hear what you're doing. Like that's all that matters when you're playing guitar, is just being able to hear it and like feel it. It's just like unlike any other instrument. So
I've noticed like you a lot lately, like we'll just be listening to music and you'll just play along.
Yeah.
You've gotten really, really good at that.
Oh,
like,
thanks.
for sure. Because, you know, we sit
That's
there.
that's the best skill for guitar is just to hear things and
playing
play along.
Yeah.
You don't want to be like, oh, what is this chord progression? Like, what key are we in? You know, you have to just be able to.
Whenever a song, like, I'm trying to play along, like, I'm like, towards the end of the song, I'm like, fuck, what is it? That's when I get really upset and like frustrated. I'm like,
let me look up the tabs.
I gotta look up the tabs.
I was like, fuck. I was like off by like one or two.
Yeah.
And then, but you learn the next time you do a song by ear, you know what you're fucking up on.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah. No, it's a very special. It's like a very special thing. It's like you can't approach it like any other instrument. Like it is. I don't look up tabs at all now. If I want to learn a song, I listen to it and I do it by ear. Like tabs, I feel like that just adds a whole other level of like confusion because guitar, like I think it's because it's a string instrument. Like and the bendiness of everything, the sliding and all of that stuff. You really have to be able to feel it and hear it.
Yeah.
And like the fact that there's so many different notes. So it's like, which note is the best note for what I'm doing?
It's like you got to figure out how to move a certain way to make that little.
And then the very next day, I don't remember what I was playing at all.
To this day, I dream about like my taco sauce songs that I like don't remember anymore, and I'm like, I hear it in my dreams. I'm like, how did I get to like this and this? But it's like, it's a very like, it sucks that it's not as like permanent as like other music forms, but it's really like special because you have to like be able to feel it in that moment, and if you stop doing it for a while, it goes away. That's why it's special, you know.
What was it? So I was.
What? No, I have a question.
Oh, so it was. I was watching a video recently. Like 2 days. Anyways, recently. It was with. Do you know Flea? From Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah. So he was on this.
Flea.
Web series.
Who's that?
Have you been playing bass?
Huh?
Have you tried playing bass?
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Same. I learned bass during COVID.
His grandfather gifted him his old bass from when he was in a band in like the 60s.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
The Galaxies.
And that bass is fucking beautiful.
Oh, sick.
It's fucking
great.
cool.
Honestly, yeah.
So I don't know if you
another
want
topic.
to bring one.
No, obviously.
You good?
I'm good.
Anyways, what I was trying to say is like he was like talking about like when he plays music and everything like that. Like he'll do the same shit over and over and over again, but whenever he starts like getting into a groove to where he's like drooling, like literally drooling over himself.
Yeah.
And then he like gains consciousness, like, oh shit, I'm drooling over myself.
Yeah.
He's like, that's when music matters.
Yeah.
And that's when
you
like,
lose yourself in it.
You lose yourself so far into it. It's like, what the fuck am I even doing?
Yeah.
But he's still just like, just doing his shit, whatever.
It's meditation.
Yeah. Is he the one that plays till he bleeds, or is that John? Both.
Like they're the both kind of people that they can do the most basic, simple shit. Anybody can play it, but yet they're the type of people that just like
you transcend into
they're
that.
Just like
So
they blend into each other.
I love.
That's why I love that band because
I love
like
seeing
they just like they're the type of people, musicians that just like.
They're true musicians. They're not in it for the money or the fame. They're just in it for the music, and that's it.
Like
that's their fucking thing.
They don't care if they're basic. They don't care if they're like doing the simplistic shit. Because like a majority of their songs are simple. Anybody can play it.
Yeah.
But it's just like they.
Yeah.
Anyways, but Flea is just whenever he said that he drools over himself when he's playing, doing shit. I'm like, oh shit! Like I'm. There's been times where I've played music. And just like jamming, I'm just like stringing to myself, soloing, like you're there or not there.
And I'm like, Daniel, shut up.
Whatever. Yeah,
whatever. To sleep.
And I'm like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Like it's just like I just get
lost
so I get so lost in just bum bum bum, just doing shit. You know.
I really took bass for granted for a long time until I was like, I need to learn bass because I was like recording songs on my own, so I was like, I need to like learn bass on my own. So I was like even learning like fingerstyle bass like without the pick, just like being able to and like just you feel it so much like playing bass, like just the feeling of like the overall vibe of what you're doing. It was like, whoa, like this isn't something you really experience as like a guitarist, a singer. Like bass is this whole other thing. And so I've learned to appreciate it as its like whole other instrument, and like I've even considered playing it in other bands. It's just that I don't want to like dedicate myself to something where I'm like, I'm gonna bail on this because I'm into my own thing so much. But bass has its own like very like meditative property. But yeah, something about just like rock and roll, like bass, guitar, just like drums, like being in that zone. Like it's easy, even if it's simple. It's easy to get lost.
It doesn't have to be a genre. It just has to just be music in general.
Itself, so my question is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
I am so sorry.
What?
No.
I am so sorry.
Stop.
Oh,
Put that away. Don't ever bring that up again, or I'm gonna. No, I'm just kidding. No. Anyways, so I wanted to ask you, like, who's your most inspiring guitarist that you've looked up to? Okay, 3. Top 3. Bands or guitarists.
That's like I'm not one of those people. Honestly,
you're just all around.
So yeah, I'm a very like eclectic music listener.
Yeah,
like I'm one of those people that I like this, and then I find the band. Like I use Spotify a lot. I know Spotify is fucking evil, but I use it a lot.
I love
Spotify. Yeah, I do. As a listener, it's amazing.
As
a musician, it sucks.
Yeah.
But as a listener, it's like I like this artist.
It's like,
I
oh
like
shit, I got all the access to shit.
Right. So I'm a very eclectic like music listener. So it's like I'm kind of in the zone where I'm just trying to listen to everything I possibly can, everything that connects with me. So I can't think of any like guitarists that like I've been listening actually. So have you heard of Sasami? She's like Asian. Who made me pick up the guitar? So like in high school, kind of honestly, Leah has a lot of like she's like
influence.
You do because you were like the first like rock and roll girl I was like friends with. She's like, stop. Yeah, I know you were like the scene queen for sure. And like so her like she got me into rock and roll a lot, and so like getting into that like I was mostly into like hip hop and R&B for like most of my childhood, like through middle school.
How boring,
and stuff.
huh?
It has its value, right? It has its value, but I was like, very dismissive of like the rock and roll side of things, and so I think once we started like seeing more of like the emo pop punk thing started getting very popular, and like I started seeing all the stuff that you were into, I think I started getting more into like that side of things, like the rock and roll side of things, and so that was very like God, I can't even remember like the moment where I made that switch to like I'm into rock and roll now. Like I want to be a punk. Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. I don't even know like when that happened, but but yeah, like that was very like all inspiring to me, like in our emo pop punk era, like getting into that music. But I hadn't even like considered like playing guitar for the longest time. Like piano was my first instrument when I was like 14, just because somebody was like, well, if you want to go to school for music, you need to like learn an instrument. Because I was a singer, I wanted to sing, but they were like, you need to know an instrument. So I started playing piano, and then like a few people I knew started playing guitars, and my mom started trying to like learn guitar, so, and like she gave up right away, so I started like trying to learn guitar. But yeah, it was just generally that early 2000s like pop punk emo era that I was like very inspired by, even though I like knew very little about rock and roll up until then. Anything rock and roll, like I had very other than the Eagles. I think my mom was really into like the Eagles, and that was like all I really of like rock and roll. I don't even think I knew Kurt Cobain. I didn't know Kurt Cobain died until I was like maybe like a senior in high school. Like I didn't even know about like Nirvana and all of that. Like I didn't even know.
I don't blame you.
I agree with that too.
It's like so, who knows about that? Yeah, I didn't know about like Nirvana and all that until like
Kurt
later in high
Cobain
school.
died, and then I was born. So,
but then we were still babies when that happened.
Yeah.
But still, okay, yeah. I was in high school when I found out he died, and like Nirvana, like about Nirvana and everything, and just like that's still like throughout my life. Every time I keep coming back to Nirvana, like albums I had dismissed, I'm like that's so like inspiring to me.
Oh, what?
And like.
Who?
Oh shit! You guys gotta come to Seattle, come to Mopop and see the Nirvana exhibit. It's really good.
Real?
Yeah, I go back every now and then to go see the Nirvana exhibit. It's very inspiring.
That's cool.
But yeah, like just picking up bits and pieces, because I'm like, I feel like a lot of people who are like me in the music scene have been like, oh, my parents were into this, and I was really into like old school like rock and roll and like 90s punk. But it was like it took me a long time to pick up like all those inspirations
like
and shit.
The history history or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
the like history and like
Yeah.
even now I'm still like early like 70s and 80s punk still inspires me so much.
Yeah.
Just every time I can like scoop up little bits of that history, like it inspires me so much still. And like even going back to like emo stuff that had inspired me and like stuff I had overlooked back then, and I'm like, oh, I see like where they were coming from. I see like why this was like groundbreaking back then. Which that's like really invigorating for me because I wasn't super. I mean, we came from like a small town. We didn't have a lot of like culture. We weren't like super like plugged into like cool cultural shit.
Like the core of everything.
Yeah, like if we were in like a city, I'm sure we would have like known all this stuff. But we were in a small town. Like we didn't know.
We got the draft of everything.
Right, it came to us later. We didn't know it was cool.
I remember we had like creative writing. I don't know what the fuck class it was. It was taught by Mr. Knight, and it was like, oh, do a paper on anything you want. Yeah. And you did yours on like punk music. Yeah. And I was like, oh, and I think we like all switched papers, and I was like, bro, you didn't mention the Sex Pistols, and you're like, what's that? And I was like, you can't write a punk paper without mentioning the Sex Pistols, and you were like, stuff we had. And I was just like, I was like, you're hurting my feelings right now. I think I started mine based off of like Dracula, like, you know, Vlad, whatever. Like, and I only did like the thesis and like the first opening, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Just the ones that mattered. I never actually finished the whole essay. But we did the research, and I was just there like, let me download pictures from my locker.
Yeah, no, I think that was when I discovered that like Kurt Cobain had died and shit.
I was like,
but that's the thing, like we do, like there's so much we had like missed. There's so much we had like missed out on, like so much like base, like core history of that we had missed out on, and stuff that I'm still discovering now, which is like it's beautiful, by the way. It's like all this stuff from so long ago that like inspires me that I still like pull into my music now. It's like it sucks that I didn't grow up with this stuff, but also like now like at a point in my life where I know myself better, I'm learning things. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, you're learning to, like, appreciate where, like, the roots, I guess, where everything came from and all that stuff.
Like that never gets old, like finding out like those things. So
okay.
Yeah, well, but I really like I pull inspiration from like a lot. Like I'll pull a lot of inspiration from like 70s, 80s, like original like punk rock. But like even now there's so much like there's so many like women, femme, like queer people that are like making really good like post punk and like hardcore music that I like pull inspiration from. I love like electro pop, like just shit you can like dance to, like the stuff that I listen to when I work out, like that stuff inspires me a lot.
Have you heard of Electric Callboy?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Electric Callboy?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll listen to it.
Yeah.
Wait, do you have a shower or no?
I've been like sipping it because I'm very drunk already. So.
Oh well, I mean, you don't have to. Just give us a cheers. Anyway, so who are your favorite? I don't know, three or five musicians now.
3 or 5. Okay.
Now.
So I had been listening to Sasami a lot. So Sasami was like a singer.
Right here.
It's a spider. Right here. Look. My hand.
Oh, shit. A blessing.
Oh.
It's a daddy long. She said no.
A blessing. Go back. Go back to where you came.
Go back up.
Go back up.
It's an angel.
When have you ever seen a podcast, a spider just kind of...
It just blesses us from the sun.
Probably more than we even realized.
What song do you recommend these people watching to go listen to?
For my music?
Either yours or anybody else's. Any song.
Like just like what has been in here lately inside your brain.
That's been trying to come out of it. It's like it's like in here, but it's in here, but it's like coming out of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like working its way through.
For sure. Oh my gosh. I listen to so much stuff all the time. I don't know. I would say
or band
or like a band. I don't know. Like if I'm being selfish, I would say like go listen to the EP that I released earlier this year because I still feel like it was very special. Like Gat Mooney, If You Think It's Dark Now, it was very special to me like because it explored a very like difficult like time in my life, and I have a music video coming out for it. Like they're still editing it. It should be out by like I don't know, early next year. But I would say go listen to that. Like that's still been ruminating, and I'm like I feel like that still deserves a little bit like more like promotion in my life.
Definitely.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm a very
That's what we're here for.
yeah.
We'll definitely put the link in the
But I'm a very voracious music listener. I would say generally listen to things that you don't know that you would like listen. I like to encourage people to listen to things outside of the genres that they like, because that's what I do every day is like listen to things that explore. Really,
because
like
you never know like,
especially if you're a creative artistic
come across something that's just gonna grab you and just suck you in and be like, wow, this is what I've been missing my whole life.
Just always be exploring outside of the stuff that you're like comfortable with, like, because now like it sucks because like, you know, like Spotify and all the streaming stuff, it does like hurt artists a lot. We're not making a lot of money off of it, but also you have access to more music than we have ever had before.
Imagine.
And like everybody's like releasing music, so it's like, you know, like take advantage of that, like listen to things that you don't think you would.
Expansion and all that.
As a listener, I'm definitely very grateful that everything is on Spotify and I can just do my own shit and do whatever the fuck I want. But I do love going to shows. So that's a good thing too, you know what I mean? It definitely helps.
Small, big,
artists,
large.
But not money-wise, but it also like puts that exposure out there for artists. You know,
sure.
And to get people to come out to their shows, especially because like on Spotify, it's like, oh, they're on tour right now.
Right.
They give you like little notifications or whatever the fuck, and they're like,
if you follow
so that's cool.
if you follow an artist on Spotify, even if it's like a small time artist, like you'll get notified for their shows, and that's how we make our money these days. Like we don't make our money off of like the music we have out in the universe. We make money off of like going on tour and like playing shows. So definitely like go out. Like try to see live music, especially smaller bands, small venue live music. That helps us so much.
That's my shit. Like the only stadium shows that I've gone to is Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
And
you know it's fun if you want to, like it's a once in a lifetime thing. You're gonna see a band you love.
But I definitely prefer the small venues. The like the
for sure.
The intimate,
the
small
intimacy.
Shit. Yeah, that's what I prefer. A lot of times it's like, oh, this band is playing at this fucking stadium. Like, I'm not gonna go.
You're
for sure.
Yeah, Jackson.
And like, it's just even if it's a band you've never heard of before, there's just like this vibe that you don't get anywhere else. Like this small venue and just like hearing this small band. Like, there's just this vibe you get that is just it's
live
an experience.
Music is the best.
I mean, not to interrupt it, but the song or band you want our viewers to listen to, who is it? Yourself?
I mean, me. I mean, Gat Mooney. If you want to listen to me, I'm still like trying to release music out there. And also, you know, I have my other bands like Taco Sauce, Juju Fontaine, that I have music out there for those. But yeah, if you follow me, Gat Mooney, I'm always like releasing new material and trying to be out there in the world and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, beyond myself, I don't have anybody I can like recommend right now.
You know what? I'm gonna recommend to you. Oh, no,
I was gonna say, like, what about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Electric Cowboy. I don't know, because that's the only thing.
Yeah, I followed that.
But right now I'm really into After the Burial and. I don't know. Okay, so it's like weird for me. So yes, I've always been into like metal and shit like that, but after getting with you, like my shit has like mellowed out just because like at first you didn't like any of that. Yeah. So you know, and like getting into like older jams and shit that I wasn't into before. Like okay, cool.
It kind of re-sparked it.
Yeah, but like being like at work and like my day job and shit. It's like all we listen to is just chill. And I'm like
electro hop chill.
Like like just like fucking I don't know, stoner, like just mellow, chill. And now like after work I'm like, all right, I need to release some shit, so I'll just listen to like I'll go back to listening to fucking death metal and like whatever.
Yes.
You know, just like the hardcore shit. And so right now so like right now I'm really into Upon a Burning Body and After the Burial. Check them out if you like metal at all. It's called Crystal Lake that I just discovered because they're gonna be on tour with August Burns Red and we're gonna go see them in a couple weeks. And I just got a tattoo of August Burns Red and like shout out to fucking homeboy.
Oh, you know who else I love is have you heard of Fontaine's DC? They're from Ireland. They're like a post-punk band. Fontaine's DC, I think like that was like a really like good mind-breaking thing for me. Fontaine CC and Sasami, I feel like were really good for me, just like creative. Like I've always had a hard time listening, just being like a full album listener, but I feel like for them, like they released really good albums this year, and I really wanted to get a little more into like good songwriting, but also into the harder side of things. And I feel like Fontaine's DC and Sasami both like did that for me. Yeah, that's it.
Have you heard of He Is Legend?
Who?
He Is Legend.
Mm-mm.
They have like their like first album is like really really good. Their guitar is like good. Their vocals are good. They're a little bit hardcore. They do screaming, but their clean vocals are like fucking good. And like it's old. It's kind of old. Not old, but it's like 2000, early 2000s kind of vibe.
Yeah, I'm still learning about stuff back then that I kind of overlooked. Yeah. So that's good.
And like lately, I've been a lot like into like 80s. Like 80s pop.
Yeah.
Bro, yeah. And I'm just like, yes. And then like, you know, Phil Collins and shit like that.
Stuff we overlooked. Like the production was just so tight.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, at some point we're like, that's lame. But now it's like, oh my God, yes. Like,
yeah, it goes hard.
Yeah.
No, I'm there too. Yeah, I've really like as an adult, I've expanded my mind so much to now that I understand how hard it is to produce music, I'm like my mind has expanded so much to like what I'm open to and like what I want to ingest.
Especially like, you know, growing up and you go through all kinds of shit and you're just like, whoa.
My shit didn't matter then.
Whoa. Yeah. There's just a lot of, what about you?
Oh, for what song?
Music. I don't know.
Music.
Out there.
You're the one asking questions.
Oh, I know.
You're the one. Clearly, you have an answer.
Anyway, yeah, I do have an answer. So.
Thank you, Daniel. I'm just kidding.
No, I don't mean to be so. Anyways.
Ew, I hate him.
So the artist's name is John Frusciante.
Oh, I love John Frusciante.
Okay.
The guitarist of
Red Hot Chili.
Yeah. Okay, but it's like it's his own music.
He's doing it. His own music now.
His own music. Well, he's been doing it forever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Dude.
like before, like pre-heroin days, he did his own music.
He has some really good songs.
Yeah, but anyways, so it was an album that he
He
did.
doesn't have teeth, but he has good songs.
Like right after he rejoined the Chili Peppers for a second time, he came out with an album.
For a second time?
Second time.
Like Stadium Arcadium?
After Stadium Arcadium. Like we're still.
So like recently?
It was like we were still in Cruces right before he moved out.
Recently grown or old? It wasn't that recent.
Yeah.
Wait, for the second time?
Yeah.
So that's this last.
He left.
That's Black Summer.
The first
album.
time.
What is it called? The Black
Unlimited Love.
That's the second time you joined.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So anyway.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
This album he came out with.
Cuddling this dog.
It's a song called. It's a song called Brand E. Like brand.
Jackie Poo, stop.
E.
Just ignore him. Just
I love him. I love him.
There's no lyrics to it. It's just
instrumental.
Okay. But very like techno-y.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like the progression of it. It's like very. It starts. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you have to listen to it.
Okay.
It's very like. To me, it means a lot to me.
Okay.
I don't know why. For some reason.
Because it's John Frusciante coming back. Oh.
Even like, if it wasn't him, it's just the song in general. It has to deal with like so much like emotion and sound to where it's like. It just like there's.
What is the song called?
Brand E.
Brand E. Okay.
Yeah.
Like John Frusciante?
Yeah. Like there's some lyric to it, but at the same time it's just so like moving and very like emotional to where I'm just like, fuck all this shit right now that's going inside my life.
Yeah.
I'm only going for the distance.
I connect with this.
You know?
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's weird.
It's not stupid. No. I mean, great.
Yeah. It to me, in a sense, whenever I like try to share my music, try to share my interests, I feel very like don't
put me down for what I like, kind of vibe.
Yeah.
For me,
I get very like, you know, I start playing with my hands.
He does this all the time. Whenever he gets nervous, he like he squeezes every like nail. on both fingers, just constantly back and forth. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry that, but
no, it's not you. It's like literally just like in general. It's like I don't like sharing that type of shit.
Yeah.
Just because like I don't know.
Sometimes he'll share shit with me, and I'm like, dude, like I'm not gonna like it. Like, go listen to that on your own. That's your thing. I'm sorry. Like I'm a dick about it, but I'm like, bro, like that's gonna get on my nerves. Like.
Yeah.
Go.
But that's cool. Like you guys vibe on your own separate thing.
Yeah.
And it's like
that's
even though we've been together for so long, it's like, oh yeah, you guys are on the same page. It's like, no,
you're weird.
Like we still need our own separate spaces.
Yeah, your own separate space, your own separate interests, your own separate vibe.
And we respect that shit. It's like whatever she needs to be alone. Hey, but this fucking guy over here.
He's like, what about me?
He's like, I love everything. All of you are
doing. No. Gabby has a new boyfriend. Little boy.
Yeah, I love you.
You're such a little ass. He's like, I want you, love.
I love you. You're so big.
So will you be my new mom?
A large man.
He's like, I'm only 78 years old, but guess what?
Poo. You're sick.
And the other one's back here. I'm like, hey, I'm involved also.
What was it like being on this podcast?
Oh, it's fun. It's great being back home with people I know. And good vibe. Good talks. Good I'm a little drunk. It's nice being back home with people who understand how I grew up, where I'm from. It's a good vibe.
Did you have fun here?
I did have fun. I'm super happy to see you guys. Yay. I'm ready to go to sleep, but I had fun.
That's good. I'm glad that you were like, hey, I'm going to be in Lordsburg. Let's do a podcast. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Put me on podcast.
Do you think hanging out with
would you consider hanging out with us again?
Yeah.
If I come, when I come through here, which is rare, but yeah, absolutely.
Are you gonna move back?
I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna build a little log cabin out here and move back to my hometown. It's I'm in my 30s. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Wait, are you 32 or 33?
I'm 32. I'm a 32 ass baby.
Are you ready to be 33 and go through your Jesus year?
Oh shit! I thought 32 was Jesus year. 33 is Jesus. Oh my
year.
God! What is gonna happen in my Jesus year?
You're gonna move
the best shit ever.
I'm excited for my Jesus year. I forgot about that. You're right.
So what about
I feel like.
How old are you? You're
29.
Oh. You're much younger.
I'm younger.
You're not quite 30 yet. When's your birthday?
May 11.
Okay, you got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
I'm young. I'm gonna be young forever. I skate. I
shred.
shred.
Shoot.
Yes, dude.
When I'm 62, I'm still gonna be freaking 30.
Same,
dude,
right?
Yeah.
I reverted back to my teenage years, and I was like, "That's who I am. That's what I love."
I mean, my knees may hurt a little bit, but I'll be all right.
Right, you heal and you go back to what you love, and it's like
you heal your childhood self that you needed. You're there for yourself, and you
just do the shit you've always loved to do, and you just don't get older. Like the wrinkles, they come, but whatever.
They come, they go.
They come, they go.
I mean, only for the fortunate, of course.
Yeah, I feel like we all look pretty good. Honestly,
I agree.
I feel like we all look pretty damn good.
When we were younger and we see 30-year-olds, we're like, oh, you can tell.
They're 30.
Dude, have you come across anybody your age and you're like,
damn.
What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Any last words?
I don't know. You guys are the interviewers.
Yeah. Any last words?
We're asking you.
I don't know. Fucking live life. I'm out here. I'm Gat Mooney. I'm trying to make music and just skate and live.
And do what makes you happy.
And do what makes me happy.
So free spirit, free mind.
Free spirit, free mind. Yeah. Rock and roll, fuck capitalism. What else? I don't know. Maybe move back to your hometown
for a little bit.
Who cares? Everybody should meditate. Maybe try a little bit of therapy. I don't know. Ooh, therapy. It took me a long time, but it was like I finally had to deal with my shit. But it's been worth it. Yeah, I've been dealing with my shit. The thing I would say is I don't know. Therapy is not accessible to everybody, but it's learn to identify what you're lying to yourself about. Be honest to yourself about your feelings.
Put it out. Get it out.
Get it out. Be honest to yourself about your feelings. Yeah. Doubt your doubts. question your questions, and just do what your gut tells you to do in life, you know? It's like, it doesn't matter what the outside world is telling you to do. You got to do what you're feeling.
Dude.
Yeah, that's
Hell
all there
yeah.
really is to it. Trust your gut.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you for being here. Like,
It's
we had
been
fun.
a fucking pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
We better
Thank
hang
you,
out again.
homies. We will.
We will.
This was fun.
It was. Definitely.
Fun is fun when we're all together.
I mean, depending on how... Oh, I love that. Depending on how we edit, this may or may not be a long episode. But I don't care. I love it.
They will watch it.
awesome.
The people will watch it.
fun.
What else do
Oh,
we
yeah,
have to do?
Exactly.
It was so fun.
It was fun. Of
That's
course,
why I'm like, we better hang out again.
Yeah.
Bitch.
like,
Yeah.
thank you to the bottom of our hearts for you being here with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm
Thank you
so
for
glad.
having
No,
me.
I'm really glad that, like, you
It's like,
actually,
there's so much more like we want to talk about. Like,
that's why we better hang out.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
we
for sure.
can only talk about so much in a short amount of time.
Oh,
You
there's
guys know what that's like,
We're full of
because-
multitudes.
You guys talk for so long.
We're
You know what it's like.
we're having
know what it's like.
feelings and
You know
we're
what it's
drinking
like. It's like,
drinks.
Shit.
You tell your mom, you tell your wife.
Tell everybody.
You're like, don't worry,
Your cousin,
I'm
your
only
sister,
I'm only
your
here
brother,
for
your friend.
5 more minutes, 15 more minutes tops. Oh shit! I was supposed to be home 2 hours ago. You guys know what it's like.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm talking about guys, because guys don't know. They don't know how to
Guys,
they
perceive
don't know
Guys
time.
are
time. They don't know.
We don't know time.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you. I love you. I'll be back.
Thank y'all for watching.
Lawrenceburg, New Mexico. Goodbye. I'm Gat Mooney.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Love you guys. See you later.
Tequila.